Convert linear equations to standard form. All right, so we can write linear equations in many ways. Standard form is very specific. It needs to have the x and the y on one side and the constant on the other. So let's copy it over and we'll talk about it. So actually there's two options here. Both C and D are written in standard form. These two are written in slope-intercept form, which we just talked about in the previous assignment. So right now, we know it is not A and it's not B, because they're in the wrong form. So the answer is either C or D, because those are both in standard form. Let's see which one is accurate. So y plus 4 equals negative 6 times x plus 6. First thing you want to do is distribute that negative 6 to both terms. So we get negative 6x minus 36, y plus 4. Now, like I said, we want to put all of the variables on one side, which this is a variable, and that's a variable. And then all the numbers, the constants, we call them, on the other side. So we have two things we got to do. I'm going to move this 4 that direction, and this negative 6x that way. So let's clean up a little bit of stuff here. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to move this 4 over by subtracting it on both sides. So I'm left with y is equal to negative 6x minus 40. And now I need to move that 6x to the left. Add 6x. So that cancels that off. We have 6x plus y equal to negative 40. So that would be D. Okay, what is y equals negative 1/4 x plus 4 written in standard form? This one's a little bit easier than the last one. All we have to do is move this to the other side. And we do that by adding 1/4 x. Actually, it's a little more complicated now to look at because the answers are written differently. So, hold on. Let me erase something here. Okay, let's start fresh. So looking at the way they have the options, they're all actually set up in standard form, right? Variables on one side are constant on the other. So like I said, all we have to do is move this to the left side by adding 1/4 x. So we get y plus 1/4 x equals 4. Well, looking at all these options, we can see we have no fractions. So to get rid of the fraction up top, look at the fraction. What is the denominator? It is 4. So we're going to multiply the entire equation by 4. So we get 4 times y, 4 times 1/4, and 4 times 4, which results in 4y plus 1x, or just x, and 4 times 4 is 16. So 4y plus x equals 16. We can see that the x's are first in all of these things. So if it helps, I'll rewrite it. Therefore, our answer is C. Okay, just like the first one. So just looking at multiple choice questions, this is really good for standardized tests. We can see that this one's in slope-intercept and slope-intercept. So it's either A or C. First thing, got to distribute that. So we get y plus 3 equals 7x minus 14. Move this 3 over by subtracting 3 on both sides. So y equals 7x minus 17. And lastly, we're going to subtract 7x from both sides. So we get negative 7x plus y equals negative 17. And we can see the answer there is D. So the last one. Okay, I'll do one more. Okay, first thing I'm going to do is subtract 4/5 x on both sides. So subtract 4/5 x. So we get, I'm going to put the x first, just because that's how they want you to write it in standard form. Now we have a fraction again. Look at the fraction. The denominator is 5, so multiply the entire thing by 5. The 5's cancel on that first term, so we get negative 4x plus 5y. 5 times 2 is 10. So it looks like our answer is B. What's interesting is this is also the correct answer too, but it's just not in standard form. If we just subtract 4x to the other side, we get it, but that's not it. So B. There we go.